Hey there! So, took me a while, but I finally found the place spooky enough to haunt. If you want a place to be haunted, it's kinda gotta be spooky enough or else it just doesn't work. And this place has got all kinds of spooky stuff, such as terrifying blacksmithing equipment, miscellaneous rusted murder weapons, fake Halloween bones, real bones, and whatever these are. And I'm sitting behind an abstract painting to class up the place. Maybe it's a fucked up kindergarten diorama, I don't actually know. With all this in mind, I decided I was gonna make good use of it. While everyone else is manifesting as something that makes the walls bleed or drives someone insane, I decided to manifest as something much more terrifying. A YouTuber who talks about superhero movies. Been 10 years and I finally said some spooky shit. I think I'm finally getting the hang of this being dead thing. Now we're gonna talk about some movies. We're gonna do Burning first. Don't worry, we'll get to Avengers, but trust me, I wouldn't be talking about this movie if I was wasting your time with it. What I want to do with this review show is sort of entice you with one movie and then show you another movie you might not have heard of. Okay, maybe it's a little clickbait, but whatever. Roll the trailer, Andy.
어떻게 하면 젊은 나이에 저렇게 살 수 있지?
젊은 나이라도 돈이 많나 보지.
위대한 게 집이네.
재밌네. 여유만 있으면 나 뭐든지 해.
So, Burning is a movie that came out last year that I sort of slept on until this year, and I kind of feel bad about that. It's really good. It's essentially split up into two halves. The first half is a story about a dude named Jong-soo who falls in love with a kind of crazy girl named Hae-mi. She goes abroad to find herself and ends up finding a boyfriend, Ben, who is rich, cool, charismatic, and Jong-soo just can't compete. Now this is the half that I think everyone is referring to as the slow half. I really like this half, maybe just for personal reasons. You see, the main character lives in the middle of nowhere, and it's a really fucking good showcase of what life is like there. Really good. It's also got the perfect dichotomy between Seoul and out in the country. There's this wonderful scene where Jong-soo is in the lady's apartment and jacks off while looking at a window because he mentally connects the girl with this place and how different it is and how different she is from when they were kids, like it had infected her. Later on, he connects the city with Ben, because the city is who Jong-soo wants to be, and who Ben is. A lot of this is due to the cinematography that is fucking amazing. It is so engrossing. There are these two restaurants in the movie, I swear to God you can smell the inside of them. There's a sex scene early on in the movie that's mostly just from the main character's point of view, and the things you see in this sex scene are the girl's fucking closet, and then it pans up to a window that looks out the city, which that then becomes a motif. Most of the movie is shot in a way where you're looking through the main character's perspective, which is how the story is told. We also got a lot of visual references to set up the dichotomy between the two guys. Jong-soo, our main character, lives out in the middle of nowhere in a house that's a mess, he's broke off his ass, and he drives a fucking beater. Whereas Ben, the new guy, is this turbo-rich business mogul with a fucking Mustang and high-rise apartments. And this first half crescendos with this wonderful collection of scenes of them sitting around the farm. Easily one of the best moments of this movie is when Ben starts playing Miles Davis and Hae-mi starts dancing to it against the twilight. Then after that, Ben and Jong-soo sit down to talk about some stuff. Jong-soo admits he loves Hae-mi, and then Ben admits he likes to fucking burn down greenhouses. Now this is when the second half of the movie starts, and I'm not gonna talk too much about the second half because I want you to see it. This is the really tense edge of your seat shit. Like it goes from romantic drama to a fucking David Fincher-esque thriller the instant the man says that shit. We only ever get the information Jong-soo gets and in the same way he gets it, and he's not exactly narrating his findings and a lot of the people ain't exactly being helpful. But, while watching it, you're very much drawing the same conclusions or just drawing your own conclusions. The last scene in this movie is really perfect. Essentially it ends really simply, but so much led up to that scene, it hits like a truck when each of the setups pile on top of each other. This scene uses some visual metaphors from the dichotomy of the characters, calls back to a story Jong-soo told Ben, and is just incredibly cathartic all around after everything that happened. This movie is a goddamn masterpiece. It's really fucking incredible, and it's on Netflix, so you know, if you got that, you got this movie. Go fucking watch it. Alright, now let's talk about Avengers.
None of us can go back. All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
Disney's Marvel's The Avengers Infinity War Part 2 Endgame is another one of these movies. They've been doing them for like 10 years. You know what the fuck it is. So was this the best movie of all time? Come on now. Okay, but was it the best superhero movie of all time? Spider-Verse came out last year, and it's also got to compete with like The Incredibles, The Dark Knight, Logan. But, and this is the only important one, is it a damn good movie? Yeah, it really is. It's very damn good. Alright, time for spoilers. Yep, that was all. Now we're just actually gonna talk about the movie. So on first watch, I felt like Infinity War kinda fell flat. I warmed up to it on further watches because watching it a second time, I noticed it was at least entertaining, but I made fun of a lot of stuff, like the screenwriters for doing that same tension building things like 3 times. You know, if Thanos gets me, you need to kill me, as though it was the only way they knew how to make a dramatic moment. Plus a lot of the callbacks in the movies felt like they were kinda taking a roller coaster ride through different Marvel lands with all the characters to go ooh and ah, and you know, due to having multiple Marvel movies already planned, they were obviously going to be bringing some of these people back, so the ending felt a little hollow. It sorta just felt like a product made to promote the next product. So I made a joke before this movie came out, after I saw the trailer, that was something along the lines of, I would love it if this was just a movie where the Avengers dealt with the fact that everyone had died for 2 hours, and then they fight an entirely reluctant Thanos while he's trying to farm or some shit. And that's just kinda what they did a little bit. Like 10 minutes in, after they spend time brooding, they bust into Thanos' house and murder him in cold blood. It's kinda fucked up. That shit set the rest of the movie up. This movie surprised me. It did something I didn't really expect it to do. It's got a whole theme. Maybe the bar's a little too low. The theme of this movie is dealing with failure, and it does a real good job exploring it. All of the characters are dealing with it in their own way. Captain America is spending his time helping people to keep from dealing with his own problems. Hawkeye runs around murdering gang members, hoping one of them's gonna kill him, and then Thor becomes a fat drunk, etc. All these characters get nice arcs where they reconcile with what they blame themselves for. And that's where all the other characters from the other movies come in. Aside from the final battle, they never feel like they come back as fan callbacks. They all feel like they fit the theme. We got Howard Stark for Tony to say goodbye to, the girlfriend from Captain America for Cap to feel like he's neglected his own life, Thor's fucking mom, like that's how Thor learns to deal with his problems. He talks to his mom about how he fucked up real bad. That was the whole scene and it was wonderful. Plus, you get stuff like Hawkeye and Black Widow fighting over who gets to heroically sacrificing themselves, one-upping each other with gadgets and martial arts and arguments as to why they deserve it. It's an action scene with something behind it. That's another thing Marvel movies do that I complain about a lot, is they sort of stop the story for the action scene, like the pacing just fucking halts so some stuff can blow up for a while. The third act of this movie has a big battle where they fight, but that's like the one big action scene, which was kind of constrained in comparison to most Marvel movies, even though it was a super CGI war with every character. But it felt like the movie earned it by, you know, allowing the characters to grow first. Also, the movie is pretty long, but it's not slow. It never feels like it's spinning its wheels or padding itself out. It feels like it's long because that's just what the story called for. All in all, this movie is much more character-focused than I expected. I expected this movie to be about the goal of bringing everyone back rather than the characters trying to deal with their problems. And the goal sort of fell secondary to the character stuff for a lot of the movie. They did it. They made a character study. They proved me wrong. And this felt like an end. Most of these Marvel movies seem to exist to promote each other. This one feels like it's the movie and then it's over. It told its story. It felt like it existed as a piece of art made by people who are passionate about it, rather than a product that was produced to make money and promote other products. Oh, yeah, and visually the movie looks fine. There's not really much to talk about here. I mean, what do you want? Visual storytelling? Come on now, this is Hollywood. So yeah, pretty damn good. But fucking I'm gonna complain about some stuff anyway. It's small shit, but you know, all these people had a grudge with a different Thanos, which took a little bit of the emotional impact out of the new timeline Thanos' existence, and sort of felt like he was only there so that they could fight Thanos. Mostly, this becomes a problem when Iron Man snaps and Thanos watches everyone disappear. It would have been a really good poetic justice scene, but that kind of falls apart because this Thanos never did that. I mean, I loved the scene where they murdered Thanos the first time, and I don't know what they would have done besides just not kill him, except not have a giant battle at the end and made it purely a movie about character introspection? No, that is asking way too much. Also, during the final battle, there are these two epic lines, and they're delivered in that really cheesy way where it, like, holds before the punchline for, like, 20 minutes. You got Captain America out here saying, Avengers! Assemble! Like you're fucking Bach trying to write a loud note to wake up all the fucking high-class jack-offs. Iron Man's out here like, I am Iron Man. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. So which one of these movies should you watch? Both. I mean, just watch both. I guess if you had to see one, I'd say go for Burning. That's why I brought it up. But you can see Infinity War in a theater tomorrow and then watch Burning on Netflix the next day. You can just watch whatever movie you want. There are no laws. I mean, you know, unless you're gonna be dead in a couple hours, but that obviously didn't stop me. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got. What do you want, a clever outro? Bye.